Okay, Boosh, we are going. We are live with the audio, and you are crackling a cellophane right into the microphone. Now, if I did that,
I'd be yelling at you
and complaining, but it wouldn't matter because I would save the audio and fuck it up anyway. Right, so we had another half video's worth of actual video. We had twice as much as what would be used in the end product, which you're probably now seeing in the background. But I fucked up. The first time I ever decided to reach over and click the save button for Audacity, I fucked up. I didn't save the project as.
You saved as.
And wouldn't you know it, it's Cole's fault. Because he's used Audacity for what, 2 years now?
At least.
Yeah, and you didn't think to tell me.
I told
all
you
of that time.
You saved the project
No,
as.
you didn't.
I did.
You
didn't
Cole,
listen.
I'm going to save
you
the
didn't
audio
listen to
so
me.
you don't have to jump over all these wires we have set up. And you said okay. So shut up.
But anyway, why are we doing this?
Because when we stopped playing the game, we stopped just at the beginning of Chapter 5.
Yeah.
And right after Chapter 5 is when things start getting less and less like a third-person Call of Duty ripoff. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree with that.
Alright, that's when the game really gets good. A third of the way in. So, I had you send me a text after you finished a chapter of just a brief synopsis of how you felt about that chapter.
So how are we going to do this? Am I going to read them off what I say, or what?
We can. I'd really like for you to put these words up on the screen as well, if you could.
I'll try something like that.
Do you have the capability?
Yeah, I have the capability.
Okay. Do you have the motivation?
I'll probably do it, I guess.
So motivated. Alright.
I am, though, because we have to play Fable 3 some more after this.
Yep. And that means you have to edit more Fable 3 after this.
God damn it.
Alright, here we go. Starting at the end of Chapter 5. Because at this point we didn't know we lost the audio.
That's our exit. Follow it.
Chapter 5. Took me 5 minutes to find the first set of snipers. Guy with a knife almost screwed me up, so I punched him in his dumb face. After we got out of Dubai, I may need to see a chiropractor.
So, do you remember why you said that stuff?
Yes, I do.
Alright.
That first rooftop with all the snipers on it.
Wow.
Was just terrible.
Guy with the knife is the guy with the knife, I understand that.
Yeah, the first guy with the knife, I think, is in that level. Or maybe it's not, I don't know.
Yeah.
We got daylight up ahead.
No, the first guy with a...
Follow it.
No, that's right. It's,
that's when you drop down and you're in the little office that opens up. And there's another area behind that. That has models of buildings and shit in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first guy with the knife.
Yeah. What?
And the chiropractor.
Yeah. Just Walker falling down the...
Falling
off
the
building, just hitting everything on the way down. And right at the end there where he clips the rappel line onto the flagpole and he just stops!
Oh!
That's what made me say that.
Every time I get a little shudder. It's like, oh, man!
I'm not gonna feel good after this one, you guys.
Right, so the thing I like about that part of the game is that right after that, he falls down and he's on the ground, right?
Yeah.
And it really utilizes the fact that the Unreal Engine is shitty for graphics.
I know.
Alright, the texture pop-in like that, it works really well, doesn't it? Because you'd expect him to be all groggy and blurry, so they make it a little bit blurry.
That's the only place that kind of works.
Yeah, so they made the screen a little bit blurry, and the textures were loading in as the thing was going, as he would have been groggy and his vision would have been blurry, and it's like textures popping in as he would have seen them properly.
Right.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was.
It was really good for how bad the engine is.
Unreal Engine's not great.
Oh man, why don't they like instead of use Unreal Engine for like physics and everything else, and like piggyback another graphics engine onto that to make it look good?
Alright. Chapter 6. Remember that gun you told me not to lose? The game lost it for me. The shotgun is a lot better than you said it would be. No one could be bothered to bury all those bodies in the hallway. Gould is a pretty cool guy. Running from the helicopter made me think of the opening scene in X-Men 2.
Right, so the gun we told you not to lose. The pistol.
The M9.
Yep, that's a good gun.
It's an accurate gun.
Headshot everybody for days.
Guess what? After you fall off the skyscraper, you start with a Desert Eagle.
Yeah, which is a pretty cool gun, but they only give you like 7 bullets for it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good gun if you have ammo for it.
Yeah, there's an ammo box like immediately to the right though. Shotgun is a lot.
It depends on what shotgun.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, I only had the one shotgun at first. I didn't see the others. Yeah, first shotgun, not great.
No, it's not.
But I didn't know that yet. I thought there was only one shotgun.
So yeah, the first time I played through the game, I like immediately dropped that for something else. I'm like, this is bound to be terrible because they just give me this shotgun, drop, pick up assault rifle, kill everything.
I'm pretty sure the next best shotgun I got is where I got that achievement for kill 4 guys in 10 seconds with
Yeah.
shotgun.
Keep moving before more soldiers show up.
So yeah, the bodies in the hall.
It's clear the 30
Oof.
Yeah.
the US Army.
Yeah.
The thing is, why don't you take the time to bury it? You just like bust out a couple windows and the sand flows in.
Just said the 33rd were rogue. Conrad
Gould is a pretty cool guy.
The 33rd may be
Didn't
You weren't even talking about Dead Space, and I just told you to shut up. That's how my mind works now.
No, it's like the exact opposite. In Dead Space, the stuff flies out. Because you're in space. No, you say that. Oh, never mind. I'm not even talking about it right now.
Yeah, let's not.
X-Men 2. Alright, next one.
What do we got here? Chapter 7. Someone had too much time and rope on their hands. And heavies. Why didn't you warn me about heavies?
I warned you about heavies!
You did not warn me about
I
heavies.
told you about heavies because we're going to reference a thing in a few more chapters. I told you about it because I told you that was a heavy. So fuck
I don't
you and your
remember
faulty
that.
memory.
Whatever.
This is why it's probably your fault I lost that.
The guys hanging from the street
Yeah,
lights. It's messed
so
up.
many guys.
At first you think it's like 2 or 3. Then you turn a little bit to the left.
And there's like 20.
20 guys hanging by the necks from
Dozens and dozens of them.
I tell you, that chapter 7 right there, where your first real choice happens, took me a while to figure out how to do it the other way.
What is that choice again? Is that
It's either save Gould or save the hostages.
Yeah, saving the hostages is much more complex.
It's much more complex, but it's easier than fighting
Yeah.
30 guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, so at any point, feel free to like read this through to yourself and then read it out loud so you don't stumble over the words.
Okay.
But you probably won't have a problem with this one.
I'm still holding this one cracker, waiting for time to eat it. Chapter 8. White Phosphorus. What have I done?
Oh, that really seems like a choice, though, doesn't it? It really
In a
does.
way, it really does. It does seem like you could choose whether to shoot that cannon or not.
But there's no choice.
There is absolutely no choice.
But it really,
You could not possibly take out all those guys at the gate.
Have you
with
tried?
Of course I tried it first, but
Yeah,
there's
'cause
so many guys, they'll just mow you down.
No, it's not that there's so many guys. It's that even if you take them out, they respawn infinitely.
Do they?
Yeah, when you start to fight, there are snipers pop up on the sides, and no matter how many times you shoot down the snipers, they just infinitely respawn. Like the dudes in the corridor, not a problem because they like trickle in. But then you get to that problem, and there's not even a way to get down until you do the white phosphorus, and it opens up that little bit on the side you jump down on.
Right.
So you can't even like leave the area. You're stuck there. The only option is to restart it white phosphorus. But it really seems like the game doesn't want you to, because Lugo, the entire time is going, this is a bad idea, this is a bad idea.
Yeah. Man, poor Lugo, am I right?
Yeah, so at this point, I sent you a text, because
You were finally getting to reading on my phone.
I was finally got to the point where I was reading them right before I went to work.
What did you say to me?
Just think, there's still so much more game left to play. And your reply was, He actually sent me a text that said, Sent me a little text.
I can't wait to write that on the screen.
But yeah. So at this point, I stopped reading the texts. I just went to work. I started working.
And then by that point, I think I had finished the game by the time you got to reading it again, right?
We'll get to that.
Chapter 9. Why would he make me choose?
If I remember that correctly, it's the two dudes hanging from the overpass?
That is what that is.
Yes. So...
That's a messed up scene, especially when you find out what's really going on.
Oh, don't shut up. Don't.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, it's really messed up.
Chapter 9 is where once you beat the game, you realize that Walker's just going nuts.
It's the downstroke on that. That's really where it all begins to spiral at. Like, it starts spiraling immediately, but trust me, that's where you can really see the pattern of spiral. Like, you look at it on a graph, it's like pretty much a straight line with a bit of a down, and then just drops out.
I remember that chapter also had a really big sandstorm right in the middle of the level, or right at the end as well.
Yep.
There were guys with rockets on the train and everything. Well, that's a tough part of that level.
Yeah, make sure to take out the guys with the rockets before the sandstorm.
That makes suicide mission difficulty pretty tough right there.
Yeah. Here we go. Next one.
Chapter 10. I thought we were the good guys.
Now I kind of forget what happened in Chapter 10.
Here's the thing. I kinda do too. I don't remember why I said that.
It may have been because of you meet the CIA guy right after that.
Yes, that's what it is. Chapter 10 is where you steal the water.
Alright, shut up.
Well, I can't avoid it not saying it, okay?
You help the CIA do a thing, because they seem like the good guys.
CIA aren't that much of good guys, it turns out.
So did you leave that guy, or did you help him out?
That's Chapter 11.
That's the beginning of Chapter 11.
That's the beginning of Chapter 11, I'll talk about that.
Well, here you go. Talk about it.
Chapter 11. That. That was the greatest encounter with any enemy ever.
Yep. Now for those...
I'm not even lying about that.
No, it's amazing. For
That
those of you who have not played the game, you walking through a mall, and you get into a corridor, and there's no way through except through the room. You can't go around, there's no other way. A heavy comes down the stairs you have to go up, and walks straight towards you, and starts firing his gun. He hits the light, and the light starts to flicker on and off in this, it's close to it, right? High-end fashion.
Yeah.
So you dug down behind the first available cover, and you start returning fire. Then every time you whittle down his health to the point you're like, yeah, this motherfucker's dead. He's dead. He's dead. The light flickers off and flickers back on.
He's moved positions and replaced with a mannequin.
That's riddled with bullets.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it does this like 3 or 4 times, depending on the difficulty level. Right?
Yeah.
And at one point it got to where I had like an entire mob of mannequins that wasn't there before. Like, you walk into the store, there's like 3 or 4 mannequins off to the side, and those are still there afterwards. But it's like, a dozen mannequins materialized out of nothing.
I tell you what, on my last playthrough of that, I decided, I wonder if shooting the mannequins that are already in there will affect how difficult this boss is. Didn't change it at all.
No, it's not like it's saved. Those aren't his lives off to the side.
It couldn't help to try, though. If I thought there was any way to make it easier, I was gonna go for it.
Couldn't hurt to try.
So don't try that. But yeah, Chapter 11, amazing chapter.
So yeah, I really like how like the more and more engaged you got with the game, the smaller the text message was.
Oh yeah, and the guy that we were talking about earlier, CIA guy.
Yeah. Did you walk away, or did you stop for a minute?
I may have stopped a minute.
Because it's the good choice, but he really deserves it.
It actually is the good choice, because
regardless of what you do, he's gone.
Yeah, regardless of what you do, he's
not in the game anymore. So no matter how,
either do it quick and somewhat painless, or he literally burns.
Let him suffer. Yeah, literally, the metaphor of it all.
I didn't actually do this myself, but only for the achievement I did it, but I kept walking on. But apparently, if you go back and watch, you just see oil just coming up right underneath him, and then it just lights on fire.
Yeah.
It's messed up.
Yeah.
I had to watch a video for that.
Oh, geez.
Not that I was looking for that.
Oh, you were so looking.
I was not.
Yep.
I was not. I was looking how to do the last thing in the game.
Sure. There we go. Man, he got what he deserved.
Yeah, he did. Chapter 12. I finally got to meet the radio man. He was nice. Then I got to repeat the first level in the game, and then got to see the Eye of Sauron. Things are getting crazy here in Dubai.
Yep.
Yeah, the radio man was nice.
Yeah, he was.
He really was.
Yeah.
Lugo, though.
Lugo, though.
He was right, though.
Yeah.
He was so right.
Rules of nature.
Here's the thing about the helicopter level. I love that Walker was aware that we were doing it again. That's some game breaking right there. Fourth wall breaking.
Immediately slaps the fourth wall in the face. In the Eye of Sauron.
The tallest building in the world with the sand just blowing away from it makes it look exactly like the Eye of Sauron. Especially with the red background. It's amazing.
It's almost like you were traveling through your own personal hell.
It's almost as if...
I can only imagine.
Rules of nature. Chapter 13.
I do want to imagine that. That's pretty hard.
Chapter 13. No, Lugo, no! Man, I felt bad after that.
So, did you,
I shot in the air. I shot in the air.
And did you do that because you heard Ethan talk about that?
No. Don't even remember Ethan saying anything about it.
Right, so what I did the first time I played through is I literally just walked through the crowd.
Do you do that?
Yeah. People will part a little bit for you, but you do bump into them a bit.
Yeah.
And you just muscle your way through.
It seems like it'd be a little difficult.
Yeah.
Because they can throw rocks at you.
Yeah,
and basically stone you to death.
They were doing that. I just walked past.
It's much easier to just shoot in the air and give them warning shots, and they just run away.
Yeah, they freak out. But if you cap one person, though, and they outrun. But if you cap one person, Adams kind of goes crazy.
No, he really doesn't, though.
No, if you shoot one person, that's you giving him the order to fire into the crowd.
Oh, that crazy.
So, yeah, remember that first bit in No Russian?
Don't we all?
No one told you to shoot those people. It's just the game playing you.
Oh, God damn Call of Duty. Chapter 14. I honestly don't know how this is going to end anymore. Seriously, I was lost at this point.
Yep.
Just how crazy everything was getting. I mean,
It was obviously coming to a head, but you had no idea how it would end.
I can't even talk about it, it's so weird.
No.
So let's just move on.
No, this is you can't talk about it. So
Oh,
weird.
right! End. Chapter 15/end. What is... I don't...
That's all he sent. That's all he sent.
Yeah, that's not... I say it's only written as end, but it's actually chapter 15/end because I played it in a way where I got the epilogue,
Uh-huh.
so, and I didn't realize there would be an epilogue,
Nope. Did not realize.
but I decided to wait until after the credits anyway, just in case.
Uh-huh.
I did not know that you could actually do it the other way and you didn't get an epilogue.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing.
There's probably people who don't know about the epilogue until after they, like, try and get all the achievements.
Yeah.
Like, man, what are these 2 achievements for live and let live and live and let die?
Yeah, that's a messed up way to go.
Yeah.
And love that right there determines how many different endings there are.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Based on that one choice.
As opposed to making choices throughout the entire game that you think will matter later on, but then you make one choice anyway and shut up. That's
No, I think...
worst.
No, I think in a way all the other choices that don't matter kind of make the experience of that story better.
Yeah, it does. And that's what it should be. But there are some games that you'll probably play at some point, where you'll make choices on, like, good or bad throughout the entire game, but at the very end, it's literally make a choice now to determine the end. It has nothing to do with any of the other choices at all. Fable 2 is bad for that. I'm not gonna lie. Because if anyone who's played Fable, the big deal is morality. How good or evil you are. And it's entirely possible to remain neutral by switching back and forth throughout the game.
Sure.
Fable 2 ending determine whether you get the morally good, morally neutral, or morally bad. It has nothing to do with, like, how you built up your morality meter throughout the game. It's literally make a choice from 3 choices.
Yeah, I'm thinking about how Spec Ops ends, and based on the one decision where you get the epilogue, that's like, you can get, like, 2 to 3 different endings just based on that.
Yeah, it's literally, the epilogue has 2 endings, but if you don't get the epilogue, it's a 3rd ending entirely.
Yes.
Great.
Like, there's one possible way to do it is you just hand over your gun, you go home,
You go
and
home.
you didn't survive.
How did you make it through all that?
I didn't.
Who says I did? Man.
And then the other way to do it is you start shooting, but you die, and then you just die right there.
Uh-huh.
And then the third way is you start shooting, and then you kill everybody.
Which I did my first playthrough, because they give you the Desert Eagle and the auto shotgun.
The AA-12 is amazing.
The most powerful gun in the game.
Yeah, it is. So that's the one the heavies use.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shoot everybody, kill everybody, and then he repeats the first line from the game by picking up the last guy's radio. He says, "Gentlemen, welcome to Dubai."
Yeah, what a badass.
Yeah. Guess which way I did it first?
Put your guns
I
down.
put my guns down. He suffered enough. Whether he didn't survive it or not.
Yeah.
Wasn't there more?
No, it's the end.
I thought you said
Then we
some
had a
stuff.
discussion about the stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick.
No, let's talk about, like, alright, so you started playing this game again. You sent me that first text at, like, 4 in the afternoon.
Sure.
Alright, then my phone was dead. So I didn't, like, get those until I plugged it in and charged it up and turned it back on. Then I sent that reply to you. Then I just ignored the text the rest of the day because I knew it would get good. So at 3:30 in the morning, I am at work, taking my lunch break. And I think to myself, I should probably check my text messages, because he's probably finished it at some point during the day.
I was finishing while you were at work.
I look at it and he's like, oh, chapter 14. And I'm like, and you sent that message, so I was going to send you a message.
Mm-hmm.
To your message of, I honestly don't know how this is going to end anymore. And I'm like, wow, he sent that message like 20 minutes ago.
He must be almost done.
He must either be having trouble or he's right at the ending. So I was gonna send you a message, it's like, don't worry, you're almost there, make one last push through. And as I was in the middle of writing all that out, I got the last text.
Yes. Yes.
Right as I was about to encourage you to do your best, you did your best. You exceeded my expectations. Congratulations, Cole. Then we had I had like the greatest lunch ever.
That was the best part of that whole thing for me, was seeing your response to that, telling me, well, you've just made my lunch break the greatest ever.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That made that whole texting
you.
thing worth it.
I appreciate you, Cole. And how entertaining you can be at a distance.
Well, anyway, if you haven't played Spec Ops Online, play it. It's good.
Really need to play the game.
You really need to play it?
Play it.
It's great.
Do it now. It's
See you later.
$30 on Xbox Live. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it! Ah!